Libra, hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it, Libra. Happy Taurus season. We are in the middle of coming up on a full moon. We are also, Pluto just went into retrograde. So it's highlighting a lot of places where we need change, right? Pluto is that value of endings and new beginnings, right? What we need to close out, what we're ready to kind of let go of. And it's really highlighting those situations, those people, those situations in our life. It's not been easy. It's not been fun. The water element and the fire element have been very enlivened in the astrology, creating a lot of drama, sometimes unnecessary drama. It just has been overwhelming, provoking a lot of emotions, feelings, the way people are responding, etc. It's hard to find that grounding and stability. Taurus energy does bring that, but we have this cluster of planets that's half in Pisces, half in Aries. So it's kind of like making us toe the line of either side, that anger, aggression, etc. But as we're moving more towards the full moon, we're going to see that earth element enliven, which it helps soak up some of that craziness, right? There's been a lot going on, and I'm almost hearing it's like you're having a hard time keeping it all sorted, having a hard time like keeping on top of it all. It's definitely testing our patience. It's definitely testing aspects of change that we need to see, that we need to actually proactively make happen, even in those more uncomfortable spaces. That's why I like to start off with these energy cleansings, just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out some of those blocks, obstacles, limitations that we might be coming into. It's also a really good time to set your own intention as well, Libra, especially if you have something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing, wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, etc. Or if you are just looking for more of a rebalancing mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we feel good, grounded, aligned within self, when we know who we are, what we want, those choices that we're making are actually manifesting our abundance, right? They're bringing us happiness and fulfillment. Self-love, self-care is the best recipe to that, right? So I would be honored to help support in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it, Libra. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. All right, Libra. So there has been a lot going on. Your energy, it doesn't feel chaotic in and of itself, but it feels like you're definitely like, your mind is in every which place. You're trying to keep track of it all is what I'm hearing. Maybe you're just really busy. Maybe you have your hand in a lot of different cookie jars right now, but you're just but I'm almost seeing it as like you upholding. It's not like this racing against the clock per se. It's just like you're trying to juggle, you're trying to uphold all the different facets that you have up and running, right? And also I'm hearing like you don't want to get burned in the process. That's why it's so important for you to keep everything going, right? having some, well, in Ayurveda, they say the best way to do that is to have a consistent schedule each day. When we have daily habits, daily routines, it really does help us maximize maximum efficiency, minimum effort is what I like to call it, right? We can really maximize our time, our energy, our ability to do things when we have that really good balance of activity and rest, right? But you have definitely been in a phase of rebuilding. I'm hearing rebuilding your sense of worth, your self-esteem. And it is like opening the door. I feel like you're good. I feel like you're happy. I feel like things are going well for you, or there are positive things on the horizon, like you're hopeful about what the future brings. But there are a couple things that are kind of distracting your focus from that. Like overall, you're like, okay, I know that I'm headed towards this place and I feel good about it. But like I said, there's still some things that are lingering past. Forget-me-nots is in your overarching energy this week, which is connected to eternal memories. And sometimes when we're leaving behind hurtful, painful situations where you had to, I'm hearing like people were putting you down, like we're really kind of attacking your sense of worth, your self-esteem, etc. And you had to draw some lines in the sand about what you would and wouldn't accept, right? And that's never easy, right? Like knowing that within ourselves, especially when we are being attacked about our person, our character, etc., that can all be very overwhelming. It really does feel like it's brought this sense of sadness to you, like maybe even not hopelessness, but like having more of a negative outlook on life or people or new situations. We're getting double confirmation. This crocus is in your blocked energy, which is cheerfulness. It is spring again. The earth is like a child that knows poems by heart. I feel like this is a lot of like remembering that there are hopeful new beginnings on the horizon, and whatever you've been through, acknowledge it, validate yourself, but don't hold on to it. And it looks like that's kind of getting in the way in some ways, or maybe even in new situations, especially if you went through something really traumatic or very overwhelming. It's hard not to kind of project some of that stuff onto new people. Or we're also like super hyper vigilant that we're not going to do that to ourselves over another. We're not going to get into another situation like that again, essentially. I'm hearing like you need to trust yourself a little bit more. We're getting this intelligence and mental beauty. And as I'm saying it, 2 of air, 8 of air come out, 8 of swords. So this is a lot about like, sometimes we just have to make decisions and not get too lost in what those decisions are. That totally is Queen of Swords energy. This is that value of trusting yourself. This is that value of what you've worked so hard to do, Libra, where you've come to. And also, as I'm saying this, I'm reminded how Neptune is in Aries right now. And so there is this extra value of validating what you sense and feel. And rightfully so, because we have the 7 of Swords coming up in your environment. Ugh, gross. I mean, this makes so much sense. Sorry. Someone's been shady. Someone has done something that, like I was saying before, where you've kind of not lost hope. Sorry, I'm being a little redundant. I gotta slow down. Not lost hope, but it made you look at humanity a little bit differently. And 10 of air, it's a tricky energy because it's all about, well, on its upside, it's learning through your experience, using your experience as a teacher, recognizing that there are people like this in the world, right? There are people who do shady shit, that maybe are really immature, that are selfish. That's what this Page of Wands is all about. He really doesn't care about other people. He's just more interested in investing in his own experiences. So the downside of the 10 of Swords is that we can have a tendency to go back. It's repeated mistakes, patterns, etc. People, situations that we're comfortable with, right? And someone might even be coming back around to kind of schmooze you a little bit is what I'm seeing. Because this person has some shady ass energy and they're coming in as the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups says the right things, always has the right words, but the follow through is not there. You know, loving, kind, supportive, like everything that your heart needs, but he's just not mature enough yet to handle what he's committing to, what he's saying. And you definitely are vibing this week where it's important for you to have your own success. And that is your focus. That is your main focus. The things that keep you moving in that kind of upward trajectory, whatever that is for you, that confidence, that silver lining that you do see coming out of these situations. You've gotten a taste of that freedom, Libra, and you're like, you know, I'm almost seeing that you're like not selling yourself any bullshit this week, right? And kind of when we're in those very honest stages with ourselves, the world can seem rather bleak. I mean, don't believe you me, I've definitely been in that kind of vibe, and it's a little overwhelming, right? And I feel like this person that's coming around to kind of test the waters, they definitely have some regrets. They definitely wish things weren't what they are. You know, I think you can make nice. I think there's this part of you that can make your choices peacefully about how you want this to look, because you are holding some disappointments around the past, and maybe that's what this conversation is, really clearing the air is what we're seeing. You're able to understand some truths about something. It does look like it's connected with someone, something that is really important to you. This could be family, someone who is offering a new beginning. Let's see what's the disconnect though. But things have changed now. It's just everything looks different. That's the other, I don't know. There's a lot of water under this bridge. And I think that there's not a lot of answers right now is what I'm seeing for you, Libra. Because as much as you are really disappointed with how things have worked out, it's also been stuff that's been very toxic for you, right? Things that really were kind of attacking your self-esteem, your sense of worth, etc. And as much as maybe this person is coming to offer something, they're still in self-protected mode. So there's this lack of authenticity, or again, you feel like you're getting some of it. You're getting some of these nice, beautiful words. It's healing, blah, blah, blah. But then it still feels empty once the conversation or interaction is done and over with. And I feel like there's a lot of things up in the air. That's what you're telling me. You're not necessarily ready to make a decision. There's, like I said, there's things that you want, but then there's about this dynamic, but then there's things that you don't. And I think it is going to require you to sit and wait on it a little bit more. It looks like you are actively processing through the harder stuff this week, i.e. those things that have brought on maybe seemingly unnecessary pain, those memories that are kind of etched into your soul at this point. But you're also committing to approaching things with a new perspective, because like certain ways that you've gone about things in the past haven't worked, right? Maybe you have gotten really emotional. Maybe you have used that Queen of Swords energy just to like cut people off, to like whatever. Sometimes the Queen of Swords can have a sharp tongue, excuse me. And, ooh, chickadee, I love it. So tenacity. He reminds us that we have a unique voice, one equally rare and strong. Chickadee offers us the courage to be gregarious in our approach as we seek new vistas and venues for personal growth. So I'm hearing as if this is definitely a past situation or some healing that you're doing around past patterning, etc. Being tenacious about your approach, meaning like really pushing for the changes that you want, right? You've done the work, you've done the healing, and now you can, and the change has happened. Everyone has changed in this dynamic, right? And so you can ask for things to be different. Yeah, it can be a little hard to change patterns, dynamics. Camel is about endurance. Camel encourages us to take only what is necessary and tread lightly on our spirit, right? Like don't get super invested in something that still feels really heavy, or someone that feels like they're really kind of still not fully divulging the truth, right? This person was showing up as Shady Pants McGee in the very beginning, and them self-protecting is really just speaking again to their own immaturity. And again, while I'm not seeing you necessarily saying peace out to this, I'm also seeing that, like, you know, you're taking everything in stride is what I hear with this horse card. The horse symbolizes passion. Horse models self-trust, walk, trot, or canter. When horse gallops, join stride and run with her. So it's knowing how much to take on, knowing how much to put on your plate, not forgetting things of the past to some capacity, right? But not letting it rule or dictate how you manage your life, especially as you move forward, as you are opening up to new vistas, right? Or that was this one, right? New vistas and venues. You're cultivating what that looks like for you, Libra. And so treading lightly, taking what you need to, but leaving the rest behind is such a great approach. All right. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. No, I'm sending it back your way.